good.
Do you want to lean that one? Oh.
That's cool. That's cool. Welcome to the Alexa conference. I am excited to introduce you, all the Voice First FM people out there on Facebook and YouTube, to Jason and to what he and his team are doing at Voicify. Jason, say hello to Bradley's network on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello, Bradley's network on YouTube and Facebook.
Very nice, very nice. Now you're just gonna watch and listen to a conversation that we're gonna have. You can just talk with me,
Sure.
Make it natural. So tell me about Voicify.
So we started the underpinnings of Voicify early in 2018. We saw an opportunity in the market where people that were struggling to get into voice first didn't know exactly where to start or what technology stack to be using. It's really complex to manage different skills and different actions. So the founders and myself realized that there was a gap that a similar model to like a content management system could leverage. So just like you wouldn't use a different platform, different system when you want to deploy a website to Google Chrome or to Safari or to Explorer or whatnot, we didn't think marketers really wanted to do that with skills and actions and Cortana skills or chatbot experiences either. So we took the time to figure out what the problem set was going to be for marketers, for content strategists, and then built a platform that was using an existing paradigm that they were used to with content management instead of complicated decision trees, and allow them to create, deploy, and then manage all of that content in real time against all the platforms.
And your clients that are coming to you, are they having like a WYSIWYG type experience, like what they would have with WordPress or Squarespace? I haven't used your software yet, so like give me an idea of like what's the experience like for the head of marketing at a large organization that says, yeah, we need a CMS for voice. We want to go on Cortana and Assistant and Alexa and whatever else comes, bots or whatnot. So
it's a pretty simple process. Obviously, you need to have an account with each one of the platforms so that we can connect into your profile because we want to deploy against our customers' brands.
Like you'd have to have your own Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to connect Buffer, Sprout Social.
That's right, exactly. So once you connect that into Voicify, really the moment you start putting content into our system, which is a web-based SaaS platform, so WordPress is actually a pretty great analogy. As you put the content in around the conversation, what you believe the utterances are going to be, different variations of it, and of course what the responses are going to be. And those responses can be text-to-speech, they can be images, they can be video, they can be audio files.
In your platform?
In our platform.
It can be text-to-speech.
Yep. Images, audio, and video.
What would the images, how would that relate to a voice platform?
So with a lot of these visual devices, like Alexa Show 2.
So you can add an image for the show.
That's right.
For the look.
Yeah.
Okay. Or the Google.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually the Google Mini Home.
Unbelievable how cheap these things are.
It really is. Amazon's giving them away.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So
there's a port to kind of put all this content, and then you'd obviously select the right content for the right platforms.
No, you create one conversation, full conversation with all of the different variations, just like you would think about two humans having, like you and I are. So as those questions and answers are stored in our system, it becomes a sort of choose-your-own-adventure conversation as you would expect with any one of these devices. And so rather than having to create a complicated decision tree of if-then statements, we're allowing the conversation to happen very naturally with the user because we have the entire content of the conversation stored in our system. Well, what we also did is because we came from the agency world, we realized that you don't want to do duplicate entry, right? So you may have content, images, audio file, whatever the case may be, in a content management system like WordPress, like Sitecore, or Adobe. Or you may have a lot of product information in PIM, or consumer information in a CRM. So since we had the advantage of all of these technology learnings from the past 20 years, we built a platform from the ground up to allow open API and webhook access. So we have a very strong agency network partners that can do that integration work. So if you're Home Depot and you want to authenticate people in Google Assistant or Alexa in order to start a shopping cart experience or be able to look up account information, you can link that through the system. We store that information anonymously so that we can then use the APIs connectors that we have with these other systems to pull the relevant information in. Because I think one of the things we learned was marketers hate not having a system of record. Right. So we want to be the voice system of record. Right. We want all of the conversation or the connector to the right information for the conversation. That way marketers can let the teams that manage that content information manage it in the appropriate system.
And how many people on the agency side would you work with, and then I'm assuming that they have one or unlimited numbers of clients they could broker an experience, their strategy, their customer service, your software.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
So how many people on the agency side are integrated and working with Voicify? Is it like a one-person connection, or is it a technical person, a strategy person?
Oh, like what does the team makeup
Yeah,
look like?
what is your engagement like?
Yeah.
So like when you meet somebody here, they're with an agency.
Yep.
They walk up, and they're with Ogilvy. I think you guys already work with them. But they walk up, they're technical, they're financial, they're operational, they're biz dev. Is that one person going to be your connection point, or are you working with a large team, a medium-sized team of agency?
It depends on where in the conversation we are. When we make the original partnership, it tends to be at the CMO level of the agency.
That's who's buying the CMO role, or the head of marketing, or that senior SVP marketing person at the agency on staff.
Yeah, or senior account person sometimes.
Okay.
Because what they want to do is they're onboarding our platform as their de facto voice tool. Once they, obviously they're vetting it, but out of the 24 agency partners we have today, it just depends on where in the conversation we are. So some of their clients or their brands are having really technical conversations, and so we involve their technologists to figure out what the connectors are that need to be implemented against Voicify.
Yep.
In other cases, the skill or the action is so straightforward that it's really a creative conversation, a content strategy conversation. Because they know that they have the content elsewhere, but they want to curate it, and they want to trim it down to fit into a platform that's meant to happen naturally, like this conversation, rather than somebody staring at a screen for 45 seconds reading all of that text, right?
Yeah.
So there's different skills, and that's why we think we're a really great fit for digital agencies out there, is because we're solving a huge technical challenge that brands are having. They don't want to have to employ 4, 5, 6 different technical teams to deploy a skill, an action, a Cortana skill, a chatbot, whatever it is. We've leveled that playing field so that they can leverage all of their strategy and design resources, and sometimes technical if it's complicated enough, in order to bring these skills and actions to life.
So, can I ask you about platforms? Is that okay? So, let's say an agency comes and they say, okay, we have a small 6-figure budget for the next 5 years for voice for this brand. Or that's $100,000 or several hundred, but it's enough over 5 years. You're like, okay, this is a long-term strategic plan for us to guide them on Voicify. What's it, 1.5 today, maybe? Okay,
pretty close.
Through 5.1. When you have a conversation about platforms and they go, hey, there's Alexa, there's Assistant, there's bots, there's Cortana, Apple Siri is open, Bixby is opening. So how do you, as an organization, counsel if they have a limited amount of resources? Do they go heavy and real high energy into like the video for Google and Alexa, or do they just go wide across every single thing? Like, help me understand your conversations, because I'm hoping that folks listening and watching will learn from you in this answer, because a lot of people are wondering the right strategic approach, and you're the chief strategy officer.
So I leverage a lot of the things I learned in the last 20 years in digital against this new technology, right? So I think one of the advantages to our platform specifically is that you don't have to choose a channel. Okay. By leveraging Voicify, you get the Alexa skill, you get the Google Assistant action, you get the Cortana skill, you can deploy against chatbots. So that's sort of the gimme, right? We consider that as table stakes, where we
it's
really
equal amount of work or something similar.
Yeah. Because what we did is we normalized what the content management needs would be on a technical side against all of the platforms. Okay. And then created a single user interface and storage model around that content for the marketer, for the content strategist. So they didn't have to worry about all these nuances. We take care of the nuances. Okay. Right? Where I would counsel brands, unless there's really high budget, but with a limited budget, is try to find the one challenge, the one support, the one problem that you can solve for your customers. So when I do workshops with our customers or with our agency partners, where I start with is I pull up their customer journey and we post it on the wall, and we have a conversation about all of the different micro moments in that customer journey for the customer, for the end customer,
in the agency,
for the customer of the brand that would deploy the skill
of the brand that the agency serves.
Yeah. So the customer of Coca-Cola.
So you'll go all the way down to the customer of Coca-Cola, because you're serving Coca-Cola because their agency of record is leveraging the Voicify SaaS platform.
So we want to look at that customer journey and not try to boil the ocean, but figure out which micro moment or micro moments are most appropriate for an engagement these devices, whether it's on the phone or in the car or an Echo or Google Home or whatever the case may be, for virtual assistants. If a virtual assistant then becomes a candidate for support in that particular micro moment, then we have to go through a forced prioritization exercise, right? And when you do that, then that's sort of the fun part of it. You get into this is sort of old school digital strategy, but once you get into that prioritization discussion, then you get into the real sort of meat and potatoes of the business, right? So where in that Venn diagram of what's super valuable to customers, super valuable to the business, what's falling in the middle, what's going to give everybody the sort of the greatest value, and from there you can grow out. And that's why we built the platform we did. We knew that you had to start somewhere. We knew that not everybody was going to be able to start big. Our system scales, so you can start small and know that you're not going to have to worry about choosing a new platform, choosing a new technology. We're going to be there to support you no matter how big or small the skill or action or experience is.
Let's talk about solving problems.
Yeah.
Let's take it from three stances. What problem is Voicify solving as a business? What problem are your agencies trying to solve that you're bringing a solution for the agencies to use to solve for their clients? And what problem are the agency clients, Coca-Cola, trying to solve for their end user customer that this platform is helping them solve? So there's problems, there's solutions. Voicify, help me understand kind of that narrative.
So I guess let's take it tier by tier. So Voicify is essentially solving an adoption challenge for agencies and brands alike. The reason being it's a new platform, it's a new way of technically getting work done, it's a new way of thinking, it's a new interface. Right. We're solving that by normalizing the leaders into one UI, which is Voicify, and then we're normalizing the deployment across all of those so that we can reduce the technical load on either the agency or the brand if they're going to do it themselves. So our experience is, or I should say my personal experience is that developers love solving problems. They're not always thrilled about solving the same problems over and over again, right? So we took the problems, the challenges with the platform technical work and said, great, this is all common. We can create an answer for this, which is the base of Voicify. And then we can allow any agency developers or brand developers, they can get their heads into the more fun, more complicated technical problems. Right. So that really is the crux of where Voicify came from. On the thing that we're offering to the agencies is that they can use our platform not just as an accelerator, not just as a proof of concept generator, but as the actual solution to bring a majority of that voice experience to life, knowing that they can then augment it with these other services that they're going to offer, especially agencies that have a really deep relationship with the brands. Yes. So there's agencies out there that know Coca-Cola better than some of Coca-Cola's employees. That's right. So we know that we need to offer them a tool to exert their creative and strategic skills and expertise against these brands quickly and efficiently, because I think one of the things we're all noticing with voice is that not only is the market shifting, people are catching on very quickly, right? So the competition is going to be stiffer. And then for the brands, I think we're offering them a solution to the challenge, which is, what are our customers expecting from us? Like, their behavior is changing, and adoption is happening so quickly. I actually said this morning in an earlier discussion, which is, I think we probably have about 12 months left of brands getting it wrong. Customers, consumers don't know what to expect of us yet, but they're being trained really quickly. So within the next year or so, being wrong isn't going to be forgiven because the customer will already have the expectation of what.
We'll just move on to the competitive brand. Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, let's talk a bit about the future. Yeah, that's kind of where I live. I had a big event called the Future of Voice, and that was a fun, event because the whole thing was projecting what is to come. Yeah. We had that in San Francisco, and then we basically live streamed in 36 cities, or 35 other cities around the world. And so a lot of my thought process is 2022, 2042, like where we at in a few years, where we at in a couple of decades. So give me an idea of just big general, not voice, but big general, the voice industry. Like, how do you see things scaling and projecting? How does it impact business and humanity?
I think that how it impacts humanity is a much more attractive conversation.
Yeah, let's go there. It's more emotionally. It's hopefully the thing that gets somebody that doesn't want to be a VUI designer, and they go, no, I am going to be a VUI designer, and I'm going to contact Jason and go try to get a job at Voicify. So let's get them.
I think that I think where this is all going is that these things are going to be sort of permanent fixtures in our lives. I see the devices we have today, not great for the environment, but I see them sort of becoming archaic pretty quickly. I see these assistants having user interfaces that are baked into our everyday heads-up displays on cars, in our bathroom mirrors, entire doors of our refrigerator. Not so that they, and I think there will be some pushback by the general public thinking it's sort of like an omnipresent, almost overlord, overwatching. Right? We have plenty of memes about this, but I see the technology going into a space where consumers, and I'm not even sure I like that word in this context, but the users of the technology are getting significant benefit in their personal lives, right? So the idea of getting ready in the morning and looking in the mirror and having your day's information presented there, because the assistant was able to curate all of this relevant information for you and show you need to leave in 15 minutes for work, and there's heavy traffic, and you've got the date after work, and bring an extra pair of shoes or whatever the case may be, a train, whatever it is. Rather than it simply being a call and response experience or a multi-turn experience that we're having today. I see it really getting more sophisticated. It's like everything we saw in sort of Star Trek, the Jetsons. I think all that stuff is possible.
That's where, that for me, I think Star Trek and Jetsons is so much more probable than Black Mirror, Altered Carbon, Electric Dreams, Terminator, Blade Runner. I think that the dystopic sells better.
Yeah.
It's easy when you poke at people's anxieties and fears to get an emotional response where they're like, that really moved me. It's hard to create something that's like really engaging if it's utopian, right? That's part of the media problem. But I think we ultimately are headed that direction. So tell me a bit more about how you think things can get better because of the way voice stuff is developing.
I think one of the things that is going to be critical, and one of the themes I've actually sussed out of this conference and the sessions I've gone to and the people I've spoken with, is there's still a really strong sense of morality in this space. And I like that the people that are early adopters and that are helping form this space are taking a responsibility and not just making it about consumption. But Bradley said in his opening statement yesterday morning, he said, we don't have an app for this conference. We're giving you a physical booklet because we don't want everyone's head buried in their phone. We want a heads-up experience. And there's been a couple other speakers that have alluded to very similar benefits of voice and virtual assistants. And I'm really looking forward to that happening. And I'm looking forward to that being a more consistent theme with how brands employ voice. I think we're seeing some of that responsibility with existing marketing and advertising that's happening, where brands are realizing that we're too engaged with technology. There's a healthy level of it. I think voice actually has the promise of bringing our heads out of our screens and getting back to this sort of interaction.
That's right. I agree. I think that not only getting heads out of screens, but also you think about children. Like for our generation, we have had an onslaught of guinea pig advertising and guinea pig content distribution upon our generation. Whether it's the billboards or banners or violence, like at a level that humanity hadn't tested out before. I mean, of course, there was violent environments, but the violence inside of a video game or movie, right, you can go on and on. The point is, a lot of these visual things that have been kind of tested out on our generation, the one after us, there may be a whole entire generation that doesn't experience that. That they don't have to experience this overwhelming sense of nonstop advertising in their face, or just things that maybe aren't appropriate for their age. Right, so that I think a lot about. Hey there.
This is like a really serious
Spin around and say hello to the
we're live broadcasting out here, so.
Heidi was the first. She was the first.
It was such a serious conversation. I thought I'd jump in and lighten it up.
You did. You did.
You certainly
Very
did.
intense. Hi everyone. Sorry. I know you already saw me this morning, but I thought I'd jump back in.
They can't get enough of you.
I'm
But you know where I'm
sorry.
going with that. Where I'm going is that there has been a lot of testing on a couple generations with visual things that is kind of a strange experience when you compare it to the rest of history. And now maybe we'll veer away from that because people are going to be like this with these Google things. Like, they're going to be talking, and all visual will be probably second. Anyway, thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I have a personal hope that in 20 years we're not looking at an experience like Minority Report, where you're walking through the mall and they're just bombarding you and stuff. Certainly could go that way. It probably won't be as that dramatic, but it will probably go that direction for a while. But I really think that there's an opportunity with this technology and the advent of AI behind a voice experience and what brands can choose to do with their customers and their prospects to really enrich life.
Right. You know Ben over at Magic & Co?
Yeah, I've met him earlier today.
So when he just finished his talk, and one of the things that he said that was very interesting is like, we have to stop thinking about voice content and start thinking about voice products. What he was talking about is instead of just adding a podcast through Voicify,
Yeah.
add an experience that brings people into a brand funnel, keeps them in that brand funnel, like he mentioned, Vic's office organizer, right? Or things that people come into and use on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Can people create products through Voicify? And if they can't today, will they be able to? And how do you feel in the future about posting content compared to creating products and experiences?
I think, and I didn't see Ben's presentation, so I'm not. Product can mean some different things to different people, but if he's referring to the ability to create bespoke experiences through voice, I think that's absolutely. It's certainly plausible in the platform we have today.
It is
monetizing it. I'm not sure that it's always appropriate, but I think voice has a huge opportunity to be a problem solver and a support mechanism for existing challenges, problems, and even some products that are out there to help people use them better, more responsibly, more efficiently. Content, anything inside of an experience is a content play. That's a pretty broad definition perhaps, but content's always going to be there. Without content, you don't have product or experience.
Yeah, that's good. Any final thoughts on the future of voice, future of Voicify, or Alexa since this is the Alexa conference?
Yeah, we're super excited to be part of the community. We've been waiting for our product to be strong enough in 2018 to bring it out and unveil it to the public. We're getting a really great response.
That's awesome.
We have a really strong relationship with Alexa, helping them with the certification. So, yeah, we're just excited to be part of the community and start meeting everybody that's as passionate about it as we are.
Yeah, that's good. It was good to spend time with you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and thank you for your attention. We'll see you soon.
I'm so sorry.
So, you know what, like 3